Oh, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any other source you all might be listening to this on. David here. Tonight we're going to talk about this new website that I just had built. It was actually launched on March 3rd, and there's some things about it that caught my attention when it was built, and I'm thinking it's going to catch the world's attention just the same once start getting it out more and so forth. But first thing I want to say is this. First time since I've started publishing books back in 2015, this company, I've got to look at some notes because certain things I want to say in certain order. But anyway, whoops. Anyway, the company that I hired to do this actually called me, and before the book became available in March or in January 23rd of this year, I think it was when it became available, and they had called me, asked me if I wanted to promote this book in a magazine that's going over to Europe, and I was like, okay. Kind of freaking out because people were calling me now. This is the first of a few people that's called me now wanting to promote this book. But I feel like the father's saying these are the company that I'm going to go with, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you who it is. I don't know okay. UR-Link. You see this up here. That's who I went through. It was UR-Link. And, but I told them, when they talked to me about, we did the magazine and they was talking about website. If I had a website, that'd be a good way to get my name out there. Well, I was like, I already got a website. I says, but, it's a website that I built on my own. That's JesusChristInTheFlesh.com, which is not very attractive, because I'm not really, well, as explained in the books, I am the foolishness of this world that God is using, talked about in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. I'm not a computer tech or anything like that. I know how to do a few things. Obviously, I know how to do videos. But as you see, I don't make fancy designs or whatnot in them. So anyway, they was talking about maybe building a website. I told them, yeah, I'd love that. One that looks more professional. So I told them I wanted the frame of it to be midnight blue, because this is all coming off of the theme of At Midnight I Will Rise. And I told them I wanted the frame of it to be midnight blue, and I wanted the body of it to be sky blue. I told them I wanted it to represent all of the books that the fathers had me write, or as you can see, it does. And then I told them, I said, I want a spot where I can make blogs. And I told them, I said, I want to be able to add videos to it. And that's pretty much all I asked for. Well, then they went ahead and they built the website and so forth. And when they built it, they first built it, sent me a sample site. Livia, one of the people that I talked to the most there at this company, had called me and said, the website's ready, you can take a look at it, blah, blah, blah. And I looked, that night, after I got done driving, I went to the site, they sent me a sample site, this before the site was live. And my Norton wouldn't, told me not to go to the site. It was fishy, something wrong with it, whatnot. So I emailed the company back, so I wouldn't go to the site. I hadn't seen the clouds, but Livia, in that day, she told me, she goes, the clouds are really great. And I'm like, I don't even know what she's talking about. Well, because I did not tell them to put any clouds in it. I told them I wanted the frame of it to be midnight blue, the body of it to be sky blue. I wanted a place to make blogs, and I wanted a spot where I could add videos, and so forth. So anyway, I I emailed the company and told them what Norton was telling me, and they contacted me back. She goes, that's because it's a sample site. Norton doesn't recognize the site, whatnot. Go to it. It's perfectly safe. So I did that the next time I got on the computer and went to the site, told Norton I'm going to the site anyway. Told Norton to go to the site, and I went to the site, and then immediately scanned my computer to make sure that there was nothing wrong with it. And Norton scanned my computer, and everything was still good. There was nothing wrong with nothing wrong with it. And that was because it was a sample site. When I went to the actual site, as you can see, David of Psalm 89. In fact, I'm gonna put that up there as the last one, because I am David of Psalm 89. I've Googled some stuff on this, and there's been people that has asked, what does this mean? It means exactly what it says. There we go. I have found my servant. I have found David, my servant. That is me. Whether anybody likes it, believes it, or not, anyway, that is me. I suggest you read Psalm 89. That's not what I wanted to do on this video tonight. So I'm going to go slip back here to the website. Okay, but anyway, when I finally got into the site and I seen the clouds, I was like, I don't really know what that means. Because I never told them to put the clouds in it. Well, then, now, Livia had told me twice that she had thought the clouds were like hypnotizing. And I was kind of anxious to see them. And when I finally seen them, I was like, wow, that is pretty cool looking. I like how the clouds are moving and everything and so forth. And so I had to ask the Father about it, and what's going on, and I got to make sure I'm in the right spot. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I took a break, whatnot. I'm out here on the road. I don't have a home. I don't have anywhere to lay my head. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. One time, there's been a few times that people told me I got a place to lay my head because I got a bunk in my truck. I'm just going to run off some scriptures to you. I'm not going to show you on here tonight. But I had someone told me one time I got a place to, actually it's happened to me more than once. They say I got a place to lay my head because I got a bunk in my truck. To actually think like that is to think that Jesus never sleeps. Okay, Jesus took on the form of flesh. Everybody in the flesh must sleep. The more you go without sleep, the harder it is to think. The muscles get sore. You deprive your body of what is required of it to function properly. Okay. To illustrate this, the Bible even tells us this. When Jesus is in the ship with all the disciples and the waves come about, they woke Jesus up because they were scared for their lives. Jesus said, "What dost thou fear?" Or my wording is not correct, but they woke him up. He was sleeping in the ship. Okay, so y'all got to start looking at all this spiritually. Stop looking at it carnally. Stop looking at it as physical. Stop looking for things to happen exactly as they sound in the Bible. Remember, we are hearing conversations that are being held in heaven when we listen or read the Bible. We're actually hearing their language. Now, I'm getting way off topic. This is illustrated, and this is explained in detail in previous videos. This is about this website. Okay? But anyway, I didn't tell them to put the clouds on here. I told them I wanted the frame to be midnight blue. I wanted the body to be sky blue. That's all I told them. Well, when I was taking my break, I took a shower and all that. And as soon as I got out of the shower, it's like, David, think about the clouds. They will see you, the Son of Man, coming in the clouds. Here you go. I didn't even know. I didn't tell them to put the clouds in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to right here, I'm just going to leave this right here on this on the website now, because there's more to this website that I'm going to show you. Because each one of these books is down here, down below, but I don't want to show that right now, because that is for the end of the video for anybody for any and all that's actually going to stay to the end of the video, because there's a treat on this website. As I told him, I wanted all 5 books to be represented on this, in this. Now I'm going to go ahead and say something here. We're going to go off the website. I'm going to talk about the scoffers. You know, on my Facebook page, which now they're getting ready to start promoting this book for the next 3 months and so forth. Which you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't know if I should or not, but I'm going to. You know, as of what I'm at here right now is one of my author portals. Yes, you can see where I felt like the Father was telling me to cancel and whatnot on some of the other books. What I'm focusing on is, you know, up until I've been writing books now for 8 years, and y'all might as well get on board here and start thinking about this, because as of January of this year, my book sale total, you know, because they got up to like close to 120 at one time, and then some people returned some books. Now my funds got down to $98. I do not cash this money in, okay, but my funds got down to $98. That was January of this year. Show you where I'm at right now. The Father's starting to lead people to the books. $336.96 is where I'm at right now. I hope I'm not giving. This is through Zulon. So the Father's starting to show people. People are actually finally going to start reading the books, and well, that's part of the process of the dead in Christ rising. I know that. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have had this on here. Huh. Either way about it. Now, for all those scoffers, 2 Peter chapter 3, starting with verse 3, and we're going to go through 5, maybe 6, I don't know. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of. I got to get that off there. Of that by the word of God the heavens were old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. All right. Okay. On my other post on my Jesus is Here Facebook page, there have been so many negative comments, so many people saying you're not who you are. I don't know how many witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses establish a matter. I have given this through the books, through the the Jesus Here page, through the YouTube videos that I've done. I am pretty certain that I give 20, probably 20 biblical witnesses as to who I am. So you all can scoff all you want. This is all talked about in the last chapter of the 5th book, believing I am He. I'm not going to sit here and lose one tear, 1 week of sleep on, oh, well, you don't believe me. It's not my job to make you believe. I'm here for those that believe in God, the creator of all since day one, the true Father of all of us. So y'all can scoff and mock me all you want. You're not going to change my mind. You're not going to take me away from being who I am. If anybody could do it, it would be me. And there's been times because, well, Hebrews 5, what is that? Hebrews 9, 5 through 7. Though he suffered many, well, you know what? I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. Just going to go up here to Hebrews 9. Come on, slow computer. I'm working on my mobile data. 5 through 7. No. Hebrews. I'm right. I think I got that backwards. I think it's Hebrews 5. Ah, yeah. Who in the Hebrews 5, 7 through 9? Got that. I guess I'm writing things backwards. Hebrews 5, 9 through 7. Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard, that he feared. Though he were a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of our eternal salvation unto them that obey him. Yes, the 6th book's going to have a chapter in it called Obeying Christ. Yeah, I suffer. So what I'm saying there, to the things I've suffered, I learned things through the things I suffer and so forth. There's been times that I've suffered, I've gotten to the point, I've told the Father, I quit. I don't want to do this no more. It doesn't work, though. That's just what he tells me. That's just you throwing a temper tantrum. Get over it. You'll be fine. So anyway, all right. Remember, John 4, verses 23 and 24. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Truth, Psalm 119, verse 142, is the law. Okay? You got to let the law, I believe it's Galatians 3, where it talks about the law is our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. Now, there's a lot of the law that you all are not going to have to go through to get to where I'm at in my understanding of the Father and what he's doing, what he's done, and what he will do, because that's what these books do. They give you all a lot easier way to learn it. I had to go through this hardcore hands-on, one-on-one training with the Father in order for him to bring me to the understanding that I have of him now. And I try to share this understanding with you all through these books. All right? Okay, now we're going to look at some of the verses that talk about when you'll see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. Matthew 24, verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That day I took a break, and I asked the Father what the clouds about. Here you go, right here. You see it. I got to confess, for a long time, I was like, how in the heck is the whole world going to see me coming in the clouds? I had no idea. This website, go back to it real quick. Here you go. I'm coming in the clouds. All that the Father's taught me is within these 5 books right here. I'm coming in the clouds. I didn't tell them to put these clouds here. The Father did. They are servants and or vessels of God also. So it was the Father that inspired them to put the clouds on there. Then, after it was done, it was a few days after I had seen the website, he's like, David, I want you to think about how they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. Here I come. Here I come. Scoff if you want. Don't believe me. My gosh, witness after witness after witness after witness. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I'm sure he'll probably come up with a few more witnesses before it's over with, because he just keeps doing them. Just like he did before I wrote the 5th book, you know. There's 400 years in between the Old Testament and the New Testament. King James Version of the Bible was published in 1611. He called me to the Bible in 2011. This is stated in all 5 books. Because that's exactly how it worked. 400 years precisely after the King James Version of the Bible was published. That was another witness. I mean, it's just, there's witness after witness after witness. So, anyway, get back to where we was. We showed that in Matthew. So let's look at Mark 13, verse 26. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Okay. Well, we're going to be getting to that here in a minute. But you're seeing the Son of Man coming in the clouds. All that the Father's taught me so far, except for what I'm putting in the 6th book, because I am writing another one, which I've not really gotten any far on it, because I thought I had one chapter done, and the Father's like, no. Now you're going to explain why I'm doing everything, and you're going to explain why you've done everything that you've done. So it's kind of like, holy cow, all right. Well, I gotta, so I kind of like had to start that chapter over. So anyway, excuse me. All right. So now we go to Luke. And they shall see Luke 21, verse 27. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. You see me coming in the clouds? All right. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about, because many people think that they're supposed to get raptured. Now, I'm not going to show this in the Bible where it actually says those that teach those that will fly, and all those that believe they will fly the rapture. God will rip off your arms and your soul will fall. No rapture. Hey. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 17. Then which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Okay. Here we go. When you start reading these books, you'll be caught up in the clouds. When you actually truly start reading in the order, Father, forgive us, we haven't been listening. This is the milk of the Word. Okay? This is getting you ready for everything you're getting ready to learn. Behold, a greater than Jonas is here. That's the 2nd book. 3rd book, Jesus Christ in the flesh. Now, the 2nd book, I think that's one where you saw with those cancellations. That's one of them right there. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. The very day I canceled that book, I had that book almost done. So I don't know what it was. Probably one of my temper tantrums, wanting to quit being who I am, quit doing what I'm doing. And this is what I'm getting ready to tell you here is not in any of the books, but I'm going to tell you how the Father said, you're not going to cancel it. I had already canceled it with the company, with Zulon Publishers. I called them up and I said, cancel it. I'm not doing it. They sent me my check back. I had already paid for it and whatnot. And they sent me my money back to me. And then right before, I'm trying to remember exactly how that worked. They sent the check back to me. It was sent to my sisters. Okay, yeah, it went to my sisters. And I was not going there, but I was going close to it. Well, I was in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, at this time, I was driving a 68-mile-an-hour truck. Speed limit 75 in Oklahoma on the turnpike. And the service plaza was over on the left. And to come back out of the traffic, you had to merge to the right. And I stopped in the service plaza and was going I was coming out of the service plaza, and I just come out of the service plaza. Obviously, I can't jump all the way over to the right lane, because in Oklahoma, they say do not be in the left lane unless you're doing at least the speed limit. Well, I could never do the speed limit. My truck was only 67, 68 mile an hour. Well, I just come back out on the interstate, and I hadn't even had my truck built up to speed, and the cop pulled me over. He pulled me over, and he gave me he just gave me a little warning on it and says you can't be in the left lane. And I'm like, man, I was sitting there thinking, I just got back on the interstate. I can't jump in front of whatnot. I was just thinking about it. And after I got to driving, I was like, oh, Oh, but I guess maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm telling you a little bit of how the Father's been teaching me obedience, because a few minutes when the cop got done, he says, "This don't go on your CDL or anything. Don't worry about it." And I was like, "Why did you have him pull me over for just not doing anything wrong?" And then it's like, "Oh, crud. I'm not supposed to cancel the book. I wasn't supposed to cancel the book." He was letting me know, you cancel it, you stop writing books, you're in a deep load of trouble. That's what he was telling me. You know, because he can have all that happen to me. I mean, the cops could pull me over every day because they are servants and are vessels of him. I realized that. Well, I called my sister up and I said, "Sis, can I come up there and let's get that money for that? Look, I gotta redo that. I gotta call Zulon again. I gotta do this book." Immediately. That's what happened on Behold a Greater Than Jonas is here. Then we got the Jesus Christ in the flesh that was published after he told me to make my name known. That's when he explained in this book he had a servant and or vessel. Said, you know, we was talking on the phone, and she lives in Memphis, Tennessee, and anyway, we was talking on the phone, and all of a sudden she stopped. She goes, "David, hear what the Spirit says to you. Get thy book done." Oops, sorry, I'm jumping. She said, "David, hear what the Spirit says to you. Make thy name known. Make thy name known. Get the book done, or you're going to start all over from the beginning." The book was done 2 or 3 months later. It was published and on the market. Because I was like, okay, I'll show the people. Right there is where I give, I think I said in that book there were 7 or 8 witnesses, but there's more witnesses in there. There's probably 12 or 13 witnesses in there. Then right after that book was published, that's when the Father sent me to I was at a casino, and he had a servant come up to me explaining the 4th book, because right after the 3rd book was published, I didn't even have my free copies in my hand yet, and I was at the casino, and the dealer come up to me after everybody else left the table, and she says, "What is your name?" And I said, "David." And she goes, "Oh, because I'm supposed to say Jesus is here." I started freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are you trying to tell me I named the 3rd book the wrong book?" That's why I wound up putting the 3rd book into the 4th book. And in the 4th book is when I seen the flood that covers the earth. And we're going to be talking about that here in a little bit. But anyway, see, this is where you all get to come through. You see, it was when you all start reading these books and start grasping onto them. This is where you'll be caught up in the clouds with me. Because you'll start understanding the Father in a way that I understand him. It just freaked me out when he had them put the clouds in there. So let's see here. Let's get back to where we was. Yeah, right there. Okay, now I want to state this in the 3rd and 4th book. I think I did. I thought this is what it meant when Jesus coming in the clouds was about. Okay. We go to Jude 1. These are spots it talks about, you know, these people and everything doing all this, whatnot. We're not going to read all that. We're going to read verse 12. "These are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves with fear. Clouds they are without water, carried about of winds. Trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit. Twice dead, plucked up by the roots." See, and we got this again here in 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 13 and 14. "And they shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Having eyes full of adultery, and they cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls." This doesn't talk about the clouds. Oh. Okay. I needed more spots highlighted. Okay. And that cannot, now I'm reading actually more what Jude talks about too. Back on 14. "Having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguile unstable souls, and a heart they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which they have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, fallen the way of Balaam the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the midst of the darkness is reserved forever. See, I thought that's what the clouds meant. When you see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, okay, well, I'm a man, I'm a cloud, so that I'm thinking I'm a cloud. I did not know how the world would see me coming in the clouds until the Father had these people put me in the clouds, just like they did. Then, when he brought that to my attention, I'm like, oh, wow. That's another witness that he did. Yes, this is the World Wide Web. So, yes, this will be taking off through the world here very shortly. I've already showed you this book's only been out a couple months, and I've already sold close to 200 copies of it. It looks like, anyway. I don't know. No, not quite that much. I don't know how many copies. I don't know how much I make on each one, because I've never cashed in. I've never paid it, I look at the portal because I want to see if people are starting to read the books. That's what I've always done. I've never cashed, not once have I had them send me a check for any of that. And because I don't, as I explained in the books, I don't need the money, I don't want the money, and I can't take a penny of it with me when I die. It gets up to a certain amount, yeah, I'll probably have to cash it in, I don't know. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, back to where we were. We was in 2 Peter. Yep. So now let's talk. Now, I guess maybe I should have misplaced this, because I was talking about how we suffer, how I suffer, and this goes along with those that think they're going to be raptured, and I already showed you, talked about that. But I'm sure where we're at. 2 Timothy chapter 2, if we suffer, we shall reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. Okay? We're reigning with Christ now. This is the first chapter in At Midnight I Will Rise. Okay? It's undeniable. There's no way around it. And if we actually listen to everything the Father says in the King James Version of the Bible, we can see how that's exactly what it says. We're reigning with Christ now. We're living in the Sabbath day. This is the Sabbath day. That's the whole theme of this book. At midnight I will rise. Okay? Yes, that's part of a verse out of Psalm 119. It talks about I will rise and give thanks. Okay? For all that God has done and so forth. But at midnight, what that's actually trying to tell everybody is the Sabbath day. We're living in the Sabbath day now. The Sabbath day is getting ready to end. What happens at midnight? We go from one day to the next. See, that's how that works. Well, at midnight I will rise. Now, I did not put the whole verse on there, and he's the one that tells me how to name them, because there are going to be a multitude that are going to rise and give thanks, but there's going to be a larger multitude that are going to rise up ready to fight. Now, I'm going to comment on, well, you know what? I think I want to go back to Matthew 24. I want to go up here. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. I'll go back up here. Now, I'm just going to comment on this. Because there are so many people out here that are unaware of where we're at in history, and I like to say that, in history, because in God's mind, this has already happened, and I show this in the videos, previous videos, and this is laid out in detail in the 5th book, At Midnight I Will Arise. Okay, but in God's mind, it's past tense, but it's not past tense for us. All right, now, and Jesus went out, Matthew 24, and Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say to you, there shall not be one left stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall the sign of the coming of the end of the world, of thy coming, and the end of the world? Now, I want to note on that, all of you all that think that I was here 2,000 years ago, okay? And I've mentioned this in other videos, and I'm going to show it again right now, because you just heard that. What will be thy sign of thy coming? Not thy return, of thy coming. Where was that? Hebrews 9:26, I believe it is. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world, but now, once in the end of the world, hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. Okay, you just read that in Matthew 24. Okay? What shall be the sign of thy coming? If Jesus was here 2,000 years ago, you just heard that in Hebrews 9:26, okay? But once in the end of the world, if he was here 2,000 years ago, we're not here no more. He only appears once in the end of the world. I have to break it down to y'all, but that's what I'm showing in the 6th book, okay? All this happened in another place. This is why God why we're here reigning with Christ now. All the other stuff that had happened somewhere else, and this on a different planet, which is called Earth, somewhere else. Okay? Remember, the Father has hidden this from everybody. But if I was here 2,000 years ago, we wouldn't be here today. If you think we would have been, then you make our Father a liar, a hypocritical liar. Because all Scripture was inspired by God. So he's the one that told the holy men to write what they wrote, moving them through the Holy Ghost, commanding them what to write. I explained this in previous videos, explain it in the books. Okay? That's just plain and simple. So anyway, back to Matthew 24. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay, now, there are 45, do your own Wikipedia, search yourself. There are 45, from my last count, there are 45 documented cases of people coming up over the last few centuries saying that they were Christ. Do your own. 45 qualifies as many. Okay, and shall deceive many. And in verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. Do you realize how close we are to nuclear war right now? Russia's got theirs going. Israel's threatening to nuke Iran, I think it is. Okay, we've got China that is saying we don't have any rights to Taiwan, and I believe China is correct on that. If you want to go with the territories, we don't have right to go take some island that's only 100 miles away from that humongous country. But anyway, that's never here and there. Okay, but we got China is getting ready to go to war with us. We got Russia and Ukraine, which with the nukes, and Russia is starting to move their nuclear vessels all over the place. We've got where is another country that the United States has invaded? We got Israel getting ready to attack Iran. The nuclear vessels are getting ready to come out everywhere. Okay, the wars and the rumors of wars are here. Okay, let's see here. For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. You can do your own research about how the big earthquakes have been happening anywhere, the pestilences. Okay, the COVID-19, now just was something about, I think it was yesterday that was talking about some fungus now that you can't detect on the human body, but if it gets on the human body, I guess it's supposed to be spreading down in Florida and some other countries, but once it gets on the body, it kills 30 to 50% of people that it gets on. Excuse me, I got to take a swig of coffee. Okay, but these pestilences are here. Okay, famines. The Pope just put out a few months back, couple months back, something about how there's famines everywhere, and there are. We know there's countries starving. It's getting ready to happen. I think the economic crap getting ready to happen here in the United States, and I think there's going to be severe famines. I've had one person. The reason I'm doing this is because I had one person, one of the scoffers. Oh, it says the Bible. It says this. There'll be a famine, and it's like, this guy only pays attention to what's going on in his world. Okay? Now, if I only wanted to pay attention to what's going on in my world, I would never see these, because the Father's promised me, and He's proven it to me, that He protects me from these tribulations. He will not let me go without. And I will say, I've got more than I need. So if I only looked in my little world right here, I would say, well, none of this stuff has ever happened. But if I start paying attention to everything that's going on in the world, not just listening to mainstream news, because mainstream doesn't tell you what's really going on, because they don't want to terrify everybody. Okay? They don't want the panic to set in where we've got, I don't know what, it's 340 million people in the United States. They don't want 100 million people going to the store at the same time and cleaning off the shelves, because, well, that's what they know is going to happen. So they're not going to sit here and tell you the truth. So no, I don't pay attention to the mainstream news. I pay attention. Yeah, I've got my other sources that I listen to. And yes, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And as I was telling someone the other day, right now it's the perfect storm. It's time for Him to reveal me. Everything that we're told will be in place when the Son of Man be revealed is in place. So you can jump on board now, or you can wait until it's too late, because it will be just as the days of Noah. They built, they sold, they get married, were given in marriage. That takes me on another topic. I'm not going to go there, okay? But the marriage is not legal. It's just by having sex, all right? And so forth. Consensual sex. Anyway, until they did all this until it was too late. So the dead in Christ are going to jump on board. They're going to start reading these books. They're going to rise as I have. And, that's what we're going to be talking. I need to, yeah. All right, I need to get back on to. So, yeah, and it's verse 8. These are all the beginnings of sorrows. So, we ain't seen nothing yet. These are the beginnings of sorrow. It's getting ready to get a whole lot worse. All right, trying to get back where it was. Now, I was telling you all about the understanding that I give you. These books give you. Isaiah 27, verse 11. I know if you watched videos before, which I've watched some of the average time, it's usually about 32 seconds or whatever. Y'all not watching them. So I'm pretty well just talking to this, making these videos. I kind of wonder if it's the same thing as me talking to my windshield when I'm driving down the road. But I did see people are actually starting to buy the book, so that means they're starting to read. So just like the Father said, Christ will rise first, then the dead in Christ will rise. I was the first one to rise. Now they're starting to get the books, so now they're going to start rising too. Okay, but Isaiah 27:11. When the boughs thereof are withered, and they shall be broken off, the woman come and set them on fire, for it is a people of no understanding. Therefore he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. Now, this woman is our mother. Our mother's in labor. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, I seen this flood. This is described in the 4th and 5th books. I believe I described the flood again in the 5th book. But that's the water that surrounds the child while it's in its womb. Well, I seen this flood from 32,000 feet explained in the books. But at the same time, that is also Egypt. Jeremiah 46, verse 8. Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he saith, I will go up and will cover the earth. I will destroy the spirit and the inhabitants thereof. Remember when we was listening to John 4 and it's 23:24? That all true worshipers must worship God in spirit. All this is a spiritual workings. I seen this spiritual flood with my own 2 eyes from 32,000 feet. Described in previous videos. Described in detail in the 4th and 5th books. This flood is real. Oh wow! I'm not gonna go down that road, and because that'll make the video another hour long on top of everything else. So anyway, all right. But that's that flood that covers the earth. Let's see here. Now I wanted to talk. Well, no, let's go ahead and do this. All right. Let's go Isaiah 55. I've got a previous video on here. Talks about this right here. Hello, everyone that thirsteth, come and excuse me. Come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye but and eat. Yeah, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delighteth itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me, hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Now I think these are the, Yeah, this is the last slide I wanted to show. Well, I kind of wanted to show this too. I had some cards made up that actually say that about this website. I don't know if you can see that. You know, David of Psalm 89. Okay, now we're going to go back to the website. This is what I told y'all. I wanted to save this for last because a lot of you are not going to be here now. A lot of you have already shut this video off, and you're like, bullcrap, whatever. You're one of those scoffers. Okay. You know what? That's not my problem. That's not my problem at all. I'm not here to twist your arm. I'm not here to convince you. You don't believe, you don't believe. That's not my problem. Excuse me. All right, now that we're back at the site. Okay. Now, later on, this one video I got in here, and I'm gonna update. I'm gonna do this one. This is where I'm gonna try to add videos. But now we're gonna scroll down here. This is the latest book that I wrote. That I had them place this, range these books to the latest book to the first book, top to bottom. Latest book being on top, first book being on the bottom. Now, as you can see, At Midnight I Will Rise. It is available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. But, see this download manuscript? That's where you can download the manuscript that I submitted to be published for free. It doesn't cost you a dime. I don't do this for the money. You don't know how many people I've had to explain this to. Jesus is here. Same thing. Okay? Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, download manuscript. I'll just show you how it works here. Let me do one. I'm not going to download it, but I'll show you the key to what it does. See, At Midnight I Will Rise. Table will come. I guess it did download it. I didn't want to download it because I'm the one that's got the manuscript. But anyway, that's all right. That's all right. So let's see. If I can kick that back. Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to actually download it. And my computer kind of goes slow because I'm on mobile data, whatnot, so forth. Okay. Jesus is here, the last book that was written. Jesus Christ in the flesh. I like how that, when you scroll down, they slide over. That's pretty cool. Behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Amazon, Barnes & Noble's download manuscript. Does not cost you a dime to download the manuscript. Behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Same thing. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, download manuscript. Okay? Father, forgive us. The first book that he had me write. This is the milk. Talked about in the 2 Peter chapter 2, I think it was. Trying to remember where that's at. Let me just do this. No. 2 Peter chapter 2. Let me do this. Instead of taking the time to try to read the whole chapter to figure out where it's at, I just click in the word desire, and I know it's up here. Was it in Timothy? No. Maybe it's in 1 Peter. Yeah, 1 Peter 2:2. Okay, not 2 Peter. 1 Peter, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. Going back to the website. See, there's the sky blue body that I wanted. Anyway, that's what the Father was just telling me today. This right here is the milk to introduce you, to get you ready to learn all that you're going to learn in the following 4/5 books when I get the 6th book done. But Father, forgive us, we haven't been listening, is actually the first book, which is the milk of the word. That's when I woke up on my 45th. Remember, I do not celebrate birthdays. I do not celebrate any man-made holidays. Now, I'll give you a quick description of that. In the Bible, there's nowhere that God commands us to celebrate birthdays. There's nowhere in the Bible that he commands us to celebrate any man-made holidays. Yes, there's a thing on the holy days, and yes, that does talk about that, but it does talk about how he never commanded us to celebrate man-made holidays. Okay? And this is the book I woke up on my 45th birthday, a gift from above, which is pure and forever. Okay, I woke up on my 45th birthday, and 2 months later, that book was published and on the market. I mean, it just came in really fast. Father was like telling me, this is what you're going to do. That was the milk of the word. That'd be the milk of the word for all of those, because as we listened to in Hebrews there a while ago, Hebrews 5, verse 9, and being made perfect. Being, I'm not perfect. That's what Psalm 89 talks about. And I'm going to bring that back up right here for those that scoffer. Let's see here. Where did that one go? I found my name is Baba. I will set his hand in the sea and his right hand on the rivers. Also make it right here, verse 27. Also, I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of earth. I'm not Jesus yet, but that's the person he's making me into. See, that's how that works. Okay? I'm not him yet. I'm still here in the flesh. I don't know how that exactly works. You know, I don't know if it's when he reveals me or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, go back to the website, I think. Oh, yeah, we just did the Hebrews 9. And I'm not perfect yet. And that's why I stick to, there's mistakes in these books. There's some things I've misunderstood. I leave those in there. I feel like when you all start reading the books, I want you to be able to hopefully experience some of the stuff that I went through, so you get the emotional feelings behind it, so that you actually grab onto it and lock onto it like I have. Like I said, I'm not the teacher that the Father is, but and that's talked about in the Bible too. There's only but one great teacher, and that's the Father. Okay? Yeah. But I try to teach you all. I try to feel like, I just feel like if you all go through some of the experiences that I went through, that it will help you grasp onto it in a way. I know you all don't have to go through the hands-on, hardcore, one-on-one training that I have over the last buku years, okay? But at the same time, you kind of get a feel of it. And that's why I will not correct the mistakes. I'm not real big on punctuality. As I stated, I am the foolishness of this world that God is using, talked about in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Listen to it. Listen to what it says. And I will always say listen. Because hearing the Word of God, faith comes by hearing the Word of God. There's a lot more power when we listen to the Scriptures. Anyway, I think I make this long enough, probably longer than I should have, but I just think this is fascinating. Y'all can see how the Son of Man is coming in the clouds. All right. What I would really appreciate it if you all would give this I don't know if you can give it a thumbs up, like it, whatever. Pass it on. Pass it on. I showed you how the books are starting to sell. It's getting really, really close to him revealing me. Okay? Whether you're on board or not, you're going to have to face what's coming. It's not going to be a pretty picture when he reveals me. Get a jump on this. As I showed you, all of these books can be downloaded for the manuscript. You can download the manuscript for free. No cost to you. Now, I want to explain why I did that. In the last video, I did that. I made the comment, yeah, you can buy them. But all my videos, and so forth are for free. And I didn't feel right about that but I didn't know how to, and I still really don't know how to put the manuscripts up to where I can't buy the books and go out and pass them out to everybody. Oh my gosh, that's how many books just here in the United States? That's over 300 million books that I would have to buy and then pass out. I can't do that, obviously, but anyway, when this new company come along and they asked me about it, I told them, I said, I want the manuscripts on here for them to read. Now, on this Father Forgive Us, being how this is a different computer that I'm on, yes, I don't know if Behold a Greater Than Jonas is published on this book, written on this book, because I just go to the portal, download the I got the manuscript that I submitted to them. That's all in there on their portal. So when I did that on the Father Forgive Us, now I know that was done on a totally different computer, but I couldn't find the actual manuscript that submitted to them. So I used the manuscript that they sent back to me to proofread, to make sure it was the manuscript that I wanted to be published. And so on each page of this manuscript, it says proof on top of it. Disregard that, whatever. The manuscript's for free. I'm not going to go out and spend thousands of dollars trying to figure out how to do it otherwise, because I'm already giving it to you for free. Okay? I've given all of the books away here for no cost. Yes, there will be people that will buy the books. I know that. But at the same time, you can download each and every one of the manuscripts for no cost to you at all. Share this. Okay? Get this video out. Let people know. Because the reason I did that for the books for free, yeah, I didn't feel right saying that in the last video. Okay? But at the same time, nobody, and I mean nobody, should feel obligated that they have to spend money to learn this. Nobody should feel that. Shouldn't feel obligated. God didn't charge me. I'm not going to charge you. Yeah, I gave up my life, but that's different. Spending money on books could take some of your bill money, and that's the other reason. not everybody will be able to afford the books. So that's why I did this. It doesn't cost you a dime. I mean, yeah, you got to have access to internet to be able to download the books, but, I can't do everything on this, okay? But I'm giving you the manuscripts to all 5 books, and the 6th one, when it's done, will be put on here as well. And the manuscript will be for free. The option to buy is there, but the manuscripts at the same time will be for free. Share this. Get this video out. Let people know. Because as I showed you, it's starting. It's starting, and it's going to be coming upon us very quickly. All right. Anyway, I've made this long enough. Let me know what you think. I don't really care what you think. Share this video. You let people know. All right. Y'all have a good one. Thanks a lot.